The Colts, by the way, falling short of a playoff spot last season because of America's team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, destroying them in Week 18. So many expect him to be a playoff contender again this year, Pearce. Obviously, there's Jonathan Taylor. What's the fantasy value for a rejuvenated Matt Ryan?
I think the first thing we should do is go back through those beat writers and see what they said about Carson Wentz. Were they gushing over him?
Yeah, it's true.
If that's the case, then we may want to take this with a grain of salt. Matt Ryan's going to be fine. They'll play well. It's an upgrade over Carson Wentz. I don't know if it's a massive upgrade just based on the system that we expect from the Colts. There's going to be weeks, where he's cheap and the matchup's going to be right, but we're looking for a specific matchup. If it's just a bad defense, then it's probably going to be a Jonathan Taylor week. You don't want old man Matt Ryan really slinging the ball around up a touchdown or 10 points in the third and fourth quarter. Just feed the ball to Jonathan Taylor. So we kind of need it to be a bad matchup or just a team that struggles against the pass and is good against the run. So there's only going to be very few weeks. And I also don't really trust this wide receiver core. And then we talked about this with the Patriots in terms of game script. The Patriots just want to run the ball. The Colts, if they do get ahead, they're just going to run the ball. I have a hard time imagining that Matt Ryan is going to have an amazing season. In the end of the year, he'll have good numbers. But I don't expect him to be a top 5 quarterback every single week at all.
All right, Geoff, working with, Frank Wright, who's known to get the most out of his quarterbacks, unless it's Carson Wentz. And then, he has a dangerous supporting cast there, too, in Indy. Let's not forget, Michael Pittman there. So some consider Ryan undervalued.
Look, at this point in the year, every quarterback, Geno Smith is in the running for MVP conversation if we're listening to the beat writers right now. So, I maybe go and bet Geno Smith. Don't actually do that. But take everything with a grain of salt. I do think that Matt Ryan is going to have if we're comparing him to the last example, Mac Jones, I actually think Matt Ryan is a little bit more interesting for the simple fact, look at what Carson Wentz did behind it this O-line last year. He actually was okay. He threw 27 touchdowns. His interception rate went down. Matt Ryan in a clean pocket in his career has been good. And I love Michael Pittman as a player and just as a receiver. So I think that combo is going to be very good and potentially one you can target in DFS. But it's a lot of the same story. Do you want to be is this the combo that you want to live and die with every year? No. The Colts are a good team. They're a run-first team, and they also have a pretty good defense. It's just going to lead to a lot of boring weeks, unfortunately, where it's just Jonathan Taylor gets 150 yards. The Colts win 24-17 or something. Matt Ryan throws 200 yards. So Matt Ryan's fantasy relevance isn't going to be that good. Could he be more efficient than Carson Wentz for the Colts? Yeah, absolutely. I think he will be an upgrade for them. And I think it's going to work out nicely for them. But I'm not expecting gangbusters here. I'm not expecting a 40 touchdown season. So, Matt Ryan is going to have some relevancy some weeks in DFS, but for season long, maybe as a backup or something.